Okay, I want to welcome you all to Introduction to Creative Writing, this summer class, and I'm very excited that you're going to be on board with me for the next 6 weeks. It is an intense class, as you probably know, since it's 6 weeks long, so you have an entire semester in 6 weeks, and I am delivering you basically all of the content that you would get in a regular academic semester. So just understand what you're signing up for. Definitely you want to leave enough time to get homework done during these weeks, and be sure to get your text, and all that's in the syllabus that I sent you. And so if you have any questions on that, please let me know. I am now in the content folder. So I'm going to go over just the basic workings of our Blackboard here. You should, when you open up your Blackboard, see content folders. Now, some of them I've made unavailable because I don't want you working ahead too far in the future, but for this week, you have 2 folders. So they are separated. Every week is going to be separated into half weeks. So Monday through Wednesday, week 1, and then week 1 continued to Thursday through Saturday. And you will open that up and you will find, if my computer will comply, you will find the homework for those days. Everything should be in your content folder. So in other words, here you have your syllabus. You have the course introduction. You don't see my video because I've not posted it yet, but you have opened this up and you are watching the video in this content folder. So you should be able to access that, and you will see all the work that is due for this week. As per my syllabus, I do block off your homework in terms of having it due on certain days. You will, though, be granted until Saturday at 11:59 p.m. to get everything done. Now, I very much advise you not wait until Saturday at 11:59 p.m. to post all your homework. But if on a week you're really scrambling and a couple of things have to come in later, that is fine. You are granted that time. After that time, however, so after the week, you may not post anything late. And if you do, you will get 50% of the grade if you would have gotten an 80% or above. But really, I'm not going to give you feedback. You're not going to have that feedback. And basically you'll get a 50%, better than 0, but really not what you should be getting in terms of credit for your homework. So do be sure to just keep up with our homework. This class is structured so that one assignment builds on the next, but again, you have a little bit of leeway if things just get crazy. Okay, here is our text, and that is in our bookstore. So be sure that you have that in hand, because the first everything around poetry will be coming from that. Do know that we are going to be doing fiction and creative nonfiction as well. And I do not have an assigned text for either of those, but a lot of what you learn in the poetry section, because it's very language oriented, will apply also in fiction and creative nonfiction. So, the reading in this text, I will definitely be referring to, and you will be drawing on as you do your assignments. There are assignments in that text. You also have quizzes, so definitely worth getting that text. But I am trying to keep costs down, which is why I'm not assigning you a fiction or creative nonfiction text. That I will be giving you more of the context through videos and PowerPoints, and then I will be having you read stories and essays that I post in your content folders. Okay, so basically your weeks are broken down like so. I'm just going to give you when things are due. And here I give you a little note about how your discussion boards are graded. And this again is in our syllabus. You should be getting 100%, just following guidelines. Basically, all of them ask that your responses are at least 250 words. So I don't want, really just 1 or 2 liners. I want engaged responses to your discussion board posts. Unless I ask you to, you do not need to respond to your peers' discussion board posts. I want you to really save that time and energy for responding to your peers when we do peer editing. And that we will certainly be doing. So that's where you're going to be doing much more of the interaction. But basically, here's the grading rubric that you're going to see for most of these homework posts. Okay, so I do want your response to draw on points from the text, video, or from my commentary if I've given you feedback, and definitely try to post by the assigned date and get it to 250 words of really engaged, thoughtful response. Okay, so I'm just asking you to introduce yourselves and give me a little bit of information about yourselves. And here I am asking you to respond to your peers by Wednesday. So please do that. Just select 2 or 3 peers who have posted, respond to them. Just basically, hey, how are you? Whatever you want to respond to in terms of what they've answered on their posts. Here is my faculty information if you want to know more about me, my website here, and my office hours. However, let me just say something about office hours. Those are not held unless you are asking specifically to meet with me. Then we can meet in those times, but I'm also very flexible and I can meet you at other times as well. So, go ahead and just write to me and we can work out a mutually agreeable time to meet. Okay. So this is an asynchronous online class, and I'm very sorry for that first email I sent out that had attached to it a schedule of assignments. Inadvertently, I'd left that on, and that is an old one where it had some Zoom meetings. We do not meet on Zoom. We are only meeting asynchronously, which means we do not have face-to-face or regular meetings. You are pacing yourselves according to due dates and, doing the reading and responding both in writing. And I'm also going to be having you do some videos as well, some recordings. And let me talk a little bit about that. But first, be sure that you understand Grade Center here. Your Grade Center, if you click that open, and I have a different view than you're going to have, but you must know how to access your Grade Center, because that is where you will see my comments to anything you post that is graded, and everything is basically graded. So, all your discussion board posts, just about everything, I will be giving you feedback on. Okay, so, and most certainly your final assignments, where you get a rubric with, a fairly thorough rubric with responses there. I will, on discussion board, be giving you feedback on your poetry assignment, and then with fiction and creative nonfiction, because both are so closely associated. So many of the techniques we're going to be studying for the one have, everything to do with the other. I'm letting you actually choose whether you want to do a story scene or you want to do a creative nonfiction essay. So you will be making that choice, but you will be having some exercises in both, and then you will be able to make a choice about your final assignment, how you want that to be, whether you want it to be a fiction or a creative nonfiction. And you will be getting feedback on anything that you are going to be turning in as a final assignment. You will first be getting feedback on your drafts. Okay, so in other words, you will never post something that I haven't seen. And in fact, we'll be talking about this later on, but I will be having you do some reflective essays on what you have posted. So in other words, you're not just handing in a draft and that's it. No, I have some questions, and you're going to be responding to those questions in order to discuss the draft that you have turned in, the final draft that you've turned in. What has been your process? What did you take from my commentary, from your peers' feedback, and use as you rewrote? What, in terms of the model readings that we're doing, so published poetry, published creative nonfiction, published fiction that we've read, that is in the genre that you're writing, what have you learned from that, or what have you taken from that in order to help you write your post? So again, I'll be talking more about those process narratives. Those are an important piece of your final assignment, but know that those are coming down the pike, which means that you definitely want to save all feedback that you get, because you're going to be using that. And you will be able to see that on our discussion board. You'll be able to see feedback to your peers and also feedback to your own work on discussion board. Okay, and you're going to be giving your peers feedback on that discussion board as well. And that's very important. And again, I'll be giving you guidelines for that. Okay. So all announcements, I will be posting under announcements. So you'll be able to see those. Here's my office hour, my Zoom link for office hours. If we are going to be meeting, it's also on my email, so you can just open that up. But basically, it's pretty straightforward. I've tried to condense everything so that you're not even having course materials. Everything will be in your content folders, and you'll be able to find everything there. So unless you are, if you're confused about anything in terms of how this class is set up, please contact me. But, hopefully it's pretty straightforward. So again, some of these are not available yet. As we work, forward, you'll get to see that availability. Couple things I do want to say about poetry, okay, before we get really going here. And that is, one, a lot of you are used to rhyming, and I want no rhyming in this class. And that might come as a shock, a surprise. You might be in dismay right now. But the reason I say no rhyming is because rhyming is actually much more difficult than writing free verse. And free verse means you have no set pattern or rhyme scheme. Okay, so it is much more difficult because you not only have to choose a word that really fits what you want to say, but it also has to rhyme with one of the words that came before it. And that is a multitask, right? And you guys are setting out right now. You're just experimenting. You're just coming to this new. And I much rather you look for words that actually have the kind of resonance we're going to be speaking about, with rhythm, with rich sort of, that resonates on multiple levels, words like that, than words that merely rhyme with another word. Okay, so no rhyming. And the other big thing I want you to write somewhere on your writer's notebook, and be sure you all have a writer's notebook because that's going to be really important. I do want you writing by hand. That's really important. I want you to write surprising yet convincing. And this is a mantra we will come back to again and again and again, which means that in all writing, and this is across the board, no matter what kind of writing you're doing, you want to surprise your reader to some extent, right? It should be new, it should be interesting, it should be original, but it also has to convince. So it can't just be surprising, right? Otherwise we're like, well, that was surprising, but it, totally not believable. And it just can't be just convincing, because then it's boring, basically. That would be the equivalent of that. You want the combination. That's the magic key to all good writing, particularly creative writing. Okay, so surprising yet convincing. You definitely want that written somewhere. And another thing is reading aloud. And this is something that, some students love this assignment, other students do not like it. But with all your final assignments, I ask that you create a video or some kind of audio recording in which you are reading not only the assignment, the final assignment, but also your process narrative, which I just discussed, right? Your reflective piece. Because it has been, research has shown that, and my own experience as an author tells me that reading aloud really teaches you how to edit. And I hear it with my students all the time. When they read aloud, they catch errors that they never would have caught otherwise, right? I also like to be able to see the text, but also hear it in your own voice, because sometimes the way I read something may be very different than how what you've set out to say. And a lot of times it's your tone that will do the interpretation. So I'll understand something that maybe I didn't understand before. So that reading aloud is really a big, important piece. Okay, I'm going to stop for now. That's a lot of information. I'm really looking forward to getting to know all of you. And again, if you have any questions, let me know, but we will certainly be having, I'll be having more of these videos posted, more informational videos that will sort of target various aspects and techniques that we're looking at. And I am looking forward to your intros.